How the Philippine Marines freed 200 hostages. Retaking of Pantar Bridge. Imagine being surrounded, trapped, knowing your fate could change in a second. When over 200 hostages were held at the vital bridge in Mindanao, hope seemed lost. But a small force of brave Marines stormed in and turned the tide. If you like true stories of heroism, make sure to subscribe, like, and comment now to join this journey. In this video, you'll see how the Philippine Marine Corps risked everything to retake a bridge, free civilians, and show what courage really means. Stay until the end. You won't believe what happened next. It was October 1972 in Mindanao. The Philippines was under tense skies. Rebellion stirred in the south. The Moro National Liberation Front, MNLF, had been challenging government forces for years. The newly formed Philippine Marine Brigade was still proving itself. At a quiet morning by the river, a bridge quietly linked two towns, the straightforward steel span of the Pantar Bridge. For civilians, it was just a crossing. For fighters, it was a prize. Civilians carried rice sacks, and children skipped stones. Fishermen tucked their boats near the bank. Meanwhile, guerrillas drifted in, watching. The air smelled of humidity, but also tension. Suddenly, without warning, gunshots echoed. The rebels struck, seized the bridge, and thousands of civilians found themselves in the middle. Panic spread. In a hidden camp nearby, the Philippine Marines prepared for something big. They had trained on beaches, jungles, ships, but this would test them like never before. They knew that if the bridge fell for long, supplies would be cut, hostages taken, and the rebel message would carry far beyond that remote place. And so our story begins with a calm moment that slipped into chaos. If you haven't already, please like, comment, and subscribe. You're about to witness a daring, little-known success of the Philippine Marines, and your support helps bring more of these true histories to light. Chapter 2. Hostages at Pantar Bridge. The morning sky over the river was quiet, but beneath the calm, danger waited. On October 21, 1972, the Moro National Liberation Front, MNLF, rebel force launched a bold move. They struck the camp at Camp Amay Pakpak in Marawi and seized control of the nearby steel span known as the Pantar Bridge. Suddenly, more than 200 civilians, teachers, students, mechanics, mothers, and children found themselves trapped along the bridge and in the university campus. According to official history of the Philippine Marine Corps, the MBLT-1 unit, led by Lieutenant Daranciang, moved to retake that bridge and free the hostages. Imagine being one of those hostages. The echo of footsteps on the steel beams, the distant murmur of rounds of gunfire, the heart pounding each time a truck passed by your narrow cell. The rebels wanted to hold them as leverage, to demonstrate power and force a message. The hostages were told to stay still or risk death. The panic spread. Some tried to escape. One young teacher whispered to her class, "Stay together, we will get out." And the bridge? It wasn't just metal and water beneath. It was a lifeline. Supplies, people, news, all passed through it. If rebels held it long, they would control the region. For the government and the Marines, liberating the bridge became a top priority. Here's the moment when the stakes peaked. A civilian cried out as shots rang near the riverbank. The steel structure shook. The Marines on standby knew that if they delayed, the hostages might be executed, or the bridge demolished. Every second counted. Before we move into the attack itself, if you're enjoying this story of bravery, please like, comment your thoughts, and subscribe for more untold military history stories. Your support keeps me digging up these true events. In the next chapter, you'll see how the Marines made their move into the dark jungle, how they planned the assault under fire, and how one wrong step could mean disaster. Stay with me. Chapter 3. The Marines move in. The early evening sky was a deep purple as the small force of the Philippine Marine Corps' MBLT-1 made its move. They just received the order, retake the vital span known as Pantar Bridge, and free more than 200 civilians held captive. Lieutenant Senior Grade Daranciang, his name whispered among his men, led the charge. With only 18 Marines and 8 constables backing him, they were backed by 2 armored cars, but for much of the approach they would be on foot, silent, moving through dark jungle undergrowth. Picture this: the soft crunch of leaves under boot soles, a river's distant roar through trees, shadows dancing under moonlight. The rebels had seized the bridge after attacking both the camp at Camp of My Pack and the PC detachment near the bridge in early October. At a makeshift command center, the Marines studied a map illuminated by a single lantern. The bridge was narrow, 1 lane, spanning the river beneath which the current ran fiercely. If they failed, the hostages could be killed. If the bridge was destroyed, the region would be cut off. They moved out in 3 teams, a reconnaissance squad ahead, an assault team in the middle, and a rescue team following behind. The plan was bold: approach under darkness, strike quickly, free the hostages, then hold the bridge until reinforcements arrived. But the terrain worked against them. The jungle was thick, the paths narrow, the riverbanks muddy. At one point, the assault team slipped on slick ground, and a disturbed branch cracked underfoot, alerting nearby sentries. They froze. Time seemed to slow. The sentry's flashlight blinked, and then the Marines raised their suppressed rifles. This was the moment when fear turned into action. The Marines triggered the attack. The 2 armored cars rolled in from the road, engine humming low. The assault team dashed across the open ground toward the bridge towers, bullets singing overhead. With a coordinated shout, the Marines poured across. Their mission had begun. If you're impressed by this daring move, go ahead and hit like, drop a comment with what you think happened next, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next chapter of this hero-filled story. In the next chapter, we'll dive into the heart-stopping fight. The bullets, the rescue, the hostages running to freedom, and the moment when the heroism of the Marines shone brightest. Chapter 4: The Fierce Firefight and Rescue. The night air exploded with gunfire. The small force of the Philippine Marine Corps, PMC, under LTSG Daranciang, had reached the tower of Pantar Bridge. The enemy, members of the Moro National Liberation Front, MNLF, were dug in around the bridge, on the riverbanks, and inside the nearby campus of the Mindanao State University, MSU. A sudden flare lit up the steel span and jungle beyond. One Marine shouted a command. They stormed forward. Bullets zipped overhead. Rebels fired from the towers and the banks. The Marines returned fire, taking cover behind hulks and the bridge beams. One of the armored cars roared across the bridge, smashing into the enemy barricade. The shock of the impact allowed the assault team to leap forward. Amid the chaos, a group of hostages, nearly 200 civilians, heard the doors crash open. Their captors were startled. A teacher grabbed a student and darted for the riverbank. With courage in their hearts and fear in their steps, they ran across the steel span toward freedom. At the same time, one Marine sergeant climbed a girder, tore down an enemy machine gun nest, and signaled the rescue team. The command came, "Go, go! Free them now!" The rescuers swept through the campus buildings of MSU, rooms echoing with panic and footsteps. The hostages were gathered in one hall, faces pale, eyes wide. A young mother held her baby tight as a Marine placed a protective arm across her. He whispered, "You're safe now." Outside the bridge structure, the rebels sounded retreat. The Marines, blood rushed and adrenaline pumping, pressed the attack. They captured key positions, stamped out resistance, and secured the riverbank. Within minutes, the mission that could have failed was turning into victory. The hostages reached the road, safe. The teacher who encouraged her class at the start was crying tears of relief. The Marines stood exhausted but upright, heroes in steel and camo. If you're hooked by this rescue, go ahead and like the video. Leave a comment with your thoughts on the brave civilians and Marines, and hit the subscribe button so you don't miss the final chapter of this incredible true story. In the next chapter, we'll look at how the aftermath changed the region, how the Marines were honored, and what this mission means today, its legacy of courage and hope. Chapter 5: Aftermath, Heroes, and Legacy. As dawn broke over the river valley, the echoes of the battle faded, but their meaning did not. The small force of the Philippine Marine Corps, PMC, supported by constables and local army units, had achieved the impossible. They had retaken the bridge at Pantar Bridge, crossed the Agus River, stormed the campus of the Mindanao State University, and freed more than 200 civilians from the hands of the Moro National Liberation Front, MNLF. Among the freed hostages was the Japanese ambassador Toshio Urabe, which raised the international stakes and drew worldwide attention. The Marines did not have fancy equipment or huge numbers. They had courage, discipline, and a will that would not be denied. When the map lit up, when the steel bridge shuddered under fire, they stood tall. When the civilians ran toward them, when mothers clutched children, when the teachers exhaled relief, they had done their mission. Lieutenant Senior Grade Daran Chiang, who led the assault, was awarded the Gold Cross Medal. His men received commendations for bravery. But more than medals, this mission became a symbol of what ordinary men and women can do when the stakes are highest. It became a story of hope. The region began to calm. The bridge once held by rebels now again opened for trucks, for food, for children going to school. The victory helped restore supply lines and raised morale among the local population. They saw that the government could act, the Marines could win. Today, nearly 5 decades later, the battle at Pantar Bridge still lives in the history books of the Philippine Marines as one of their early major successes. And for us, this story reminds us that when duty calls, heroes answer. That even when odds are heavy, courage can turn the tide. That rescue missions are not just military operations, they are lifelines for people desperate for freedom. If you found this story gripping, please do like this video, drop a comment below telling us which moment moved you the most, and subscribe to the channel now so you won't miss more untold military history stories just like this. Thank you for watching. Stay brave, stay curious, and remember the courage of the Philippine Marines at Pantar Bridge. Thank you very much also for not forgetting to subscribe, like, and comment to our video. See you in our next video. God bless us all.